Hey folks, this is Jack McNiel Jr. with the Kempner Church of Christ, and today I want to talk about rivers. You ever thought about rivers and how crooked they are? You know, if you were to drive from Austin, Texas down to Houston along Highway 71, you would cross the Texas-Colorado River, I think about 5 times during approximately a 100-mile stretch of road. You think about that, the highway runs mostly in a straight line, but that old river is crookeder than a rattlesnake. Why is it so crooked? Also, why do I cross the same creek 2 or 3 times on my way home every day? At least I used to. Why don't the silly things just run straight? Of course, we know that's because water always follows the path of least resistance. Where there is an easy path, water will flow along a straight path. But when it comes to an obstacle such as a hill or a giant boulder, the stream will seek the easier path, which often means that it flows curving around the obstacles. Another thing about rivers is that they all flow down to the ocean. You think about the Missouri River, the longest river in North America, starts way up in the high Rocky Mountains where a number of small streams come together forming its headwaters. And that muddy old Missouri River, it flows through hundreds and hundreds of miles, crossing under I-70 at least twice if you're driving from Kansas City to St. Louis, joined by numerous other rivers until it reaches the mighty Mississippi, which when it flows all the way down past New Orleans, then to the Gulf of Mexico. All of those crooked rivers following the path of least resistance. For the same reason that rivers are crooked, sometimes men are crooked, because men take the path of least resistance. And in Matthew chapter 7, verses 13 and 14, Jesus draws a distinction. He says, "Enter ye in at the straight gates." Now, this word S-T-R-A-I-T is not straight as in linear as a straight line, but it defines a narrow, dangerous, difficult way. And so, "Enter ye in at the straight gate, for wide is the gate, and broad is the way which leadeth to destruction, and many there be which go in thereat. Because straight is the gate, and narrow is the way which leadeth to life, and few there be that find it." And so as people journey through their life, a lot of times when it becomes difficult, what do? They take the broad and easy path. And so they become crooked in their lives. Even as Peter told those folks on the day of Pentecost in Acts chapter 2 and verse 40, he says, "Save yourselves from this crooked generation." You know, the result of always following the easy path is a crooked man. The path of least resistance is easier than obedience to God. It follows the crowd. It conforms to this world. Deuteronomy 32 and verse 5, we're told that they have corrupted themselves. Their spot is not the spot of his children. They are perverse and crooked generation. In Isaiah 59, they're beginning in verse 1, and we'll read all the way to verse 8. It says, "Behold, the Lord's hand is not shortened, that it cannot save, neither his ear heavy, that it cannot hear. But your iniquities have separated between you and your God, and your sins have hid his face from you, that he will not hear. For your fingers are defiled with blood, your fingers and your hands are defiled with blood, and your fingers with iniquity. Your lips have spoken lies, your tongue hath muttered perverseness. None calleth for justice, nor pleadeth for truth. They trust in vanity and speak lies. They conceive mischief and bring forth iniquity. They hatch cockatrice eggs, and weave the spider's web. He that eateth of their eggs dieth, and that which is crushed breaketh out into a viper. Their webs shall not become garments, neither shall they cover themselves with their works. Their works are works of iniquity, and the act of violence is in their hand. Their feet run to evil, and they make haste to shed innocent blood. Their thoughts are thoughts of iniquity. Wasting and destruction are in their paths. The way of peace they have not known. There is no judgment in their goings. They have made them crooked paths. Whosoever goeth therein shall not know peace. And so Isaiah is talking about the people of his day, the Jewish people of his day, and how that they were characterized by wickedness. They were crooked and perverse in their ways, because always seeking to follow the easy path. We must not always just seek the path of least resistance. In Proverbs chapter 2, verse 15, it says that we're to be obedient children to God. He says that you may be blameless and harmless, the sons of God without rebuke in the midst of a crooked and perverse nation, among whom ye shine as lights in the world. When we don't follow the path of least resistance like everybody else, when we're walking that difficult and narrow path that leads to life, then we stand out from those that are going with the crowd, because in general the crowd is they're following that path of least resistance. They're like the crooked river. They're crooked people. Just like all rivers also, and just like all rivers flow to the sea, all human lives are headed to the same destination, and that is physical death. We're all going to die. That's one thing that we know about life for sure, is that we're not going to get out of it alive. And so we're all going to stand before the judgment seat of Christ. And so there's that one thing that we all have in common. We're all going to die. And so we're all like those rivers. We're flowing to the sea, to a common destination. Following the easy and broad path leads not just to physical death, but it also leads to spiritual death. And so let us not follow the path of least resistance. Let's not follow that easy way, that broad path that leads to destruction. Let us seek to be distinctive in this world and to stand out and shine like lights in this crooked and perverse generation.